If you haven't already, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification button. That's going to let you know whenever we put out new content. Give us a thumbs up. And more than anything, please share this content with your friends. Over the weekend, we had probably 3 or 4 more inches of rain. It's all good, you know, it's going to be good. So when I planted this row here with this kale and this Swiss chard, I thought I was in pretty good shape. But I think one of the challenges that I have, there's multiple challenges. I have multiple challenges here. One is this ground is where that tree was, right? So we've got soil challenges. Then I also have sunlight challenges. I didn't realize it until recently, and the position of the sun is changing. But I think I'm going to be better suited to take this Swiss chard and this kale. I'm going to move it from here to our new raised bed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make sure I get as much of this root ball as I possibly can, and not disturb it too terribly bad. That looks pretty good. The roots on this, they're right here. All the roots are in the top 2 inches of soil. As I'm taking these out of the row, it's real obvious what's going on. It's clay underneath. The roots are not going down into that clay. They don't want anything to do with it. They are working in that top 3 inches of soil that I put there. And I think this raised bed is going to be the ticket to having more and better Swiss chard. now that I've got them all planted, I'm going to give them just a little drink of this is fish emulsion, and it's a little bit of micronutrient boost, just to maybe give them a helping hand with any kind of transplant shot. You know, at that point in time, we're really just going to hope for the best. See how they do. I think they'll do well. Watering them like this is also going to help settle the soil around the roots, and that'll help a lot too. There is our bed of Swiss chard and kale. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to harvest some leaves, and I'll probably have that for lunch. So it's going to look bare for about a week, but I think that'll reduce some of the stress of supporting the plants. I'm going to do some pretty hefty harvesting on this. I'm going to just leave just the crown on most of these. Let's give this plant a break from having to support all this vegetation. Here's what we look like after we have thinned it out. I think we're going to be in a whole lot better shape now. As small and tender as these are, they're not going to take but a minute to cook. That's going to be awesome. Man, it's going to be so good. So the stems on Swiss chard are edible. All you really have to do is just cut them up in pieces about that big, and put them in your frying pan. I'd put these in first before you put the leaves, just to tenderize them a little bit, get them cooked. I'm not going to eat these just simply because I have so much Swiss chard here. I don't need the stems, so I am going to give the chickens these stems in exchange for an egg. All right, let's go fix a little lunch. So this is the way I like to prepare kale. This is some homemade bacon that I made. I don't know. I started working on it back in Christmas. And I just slice a few pieces of this. And really what I'm going for here is I just want the fat off of this bacon to flavor my my Swiss chard. So I'll just slice me a few pieces of that bacon. So while that bacon is rendering, I'm going to take some of this kale and just kind of give it a rough chop. It doesn't have to be perfect. I definitely don't need to cook all of this kale. That would be a little bit much for me. So I'm just going to get out what I'm going to eat here, and we're just going to take that. We're going to give it a rough chop, just a rough chop, right? I tell you, once we start cooking this, it's not going to take but just a minute, and it will be done. Got that skillet good and hot. We'll just throw that in there. We'll just take those bacon pieces and just kind of chop them up a little bit. It's fried pretty crisp. We gotta taste that. Yep, looks pretty good. But I will put that back on the chard. So there we are. There's our Swiss chard. Pan fried. I had some leftover potatoes with some gravy and a little bit of cube steak. It's going to be an awesome lunch. If you haven't already, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification button. That's going to let you know whenever we put out new content. Give us a thumbs up. And more than anything, please share this content with your friends.